They're two of the most unique talents and remarkable performers in basketball history.
Iverson streaking by everybody. Reverse layup. Oh, wow. Russell Westbrook to the basket. 1 second left to play.
Guards who redefined the scope and expectations of their position on the court. They're both forces of nature with the ball in their hands.
Going for 50. He got it.
Brash.
What are we talking about?
Don't ask me a dumb question you know the answer to.
Confident.
Russell to the basket to put it away.
Unforgiving opponents.
Perfect spin off the glass. And Allen Iverson now at 17.
Though of different eras, both are scrutinized for their ultimate lack of championship pedigree and shoot-first approach. But all the while beloved for their skill, flair, and determination. Welcome to 1v1, Iverson versus Westbrook.
Over to Russell Westbrook. Russell back in the corner. 5 to shoot for Iverson. Yes!
When you're talking about two Hall of Fame talents who've enjoyed lengthy careers, there's a lot to unpack. One place we can always begin is the number.
Allen for the record. Yes! Tough shot by Westbrook. Oh, counted. 52 points for Iverson.
What's interesting about pitting these two careers against each other is that even though AI played 2 more seasons than Westbrook, 14 to Russ's 12, as of the end of the 2019-20 season, Iverson's only actually played 36 more games than Westbrook. That said, because Iverson averaged a mind-blowing, make sure you're sitting down for this, 41.1 minutes per game over his 14-year career, the answer logged more than 7,000 additional minutes than Westbrook has to date. Iverson ranks 7th all-time in points per game and is 14th on the all-time steals list, while Westbrook ranks 9th in assists per game and is perhaps the best rebounding guard to ever play the game. On the offensive end, Iverson is the more prolific pure scorer, whereas Westbrook is a better distributor and shot creator for others, while also scoring at a slightly more efficient clip. But there's some context we need to consider when comparing stars of different eras.
Westbrook, they cleared the lane. Elevates and throws it down.
The numbers suggest Westbrook is far superior getting to the basket, as nearly 36% of his career field goal attempts have come within 3 feet of the rim. By comparison, just under 29% of Iverson's attempts came from that range. And the fact nearly 18% of Westbrook's attempts come from long 2 range is troubling in the modern era. Until you realize that due to the mid-range heavy, isolation-loving era Iverson thrived in, more than a quarter of AI's career attempts came from that long 2 range between 16 feet and the 3-point line. Both stars have career 3-point percentages in the 31% range, though Iverson was a little more disciplined about when to pull the trigger from deep. Remember, Westbrook is literally the worst volume 3-point shooter ever.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Westbrook's playmaking and superior ability to penetrate and the overall impact that has on a team's offense would seem to give him the offensive edge. But it's fair to wonder whether Iverson could have boosted his own efficiency in an era where coaches would have steered him away from the lowest efficiency spots on the court.
So Corey Alexander on Iverson. Here's Allen for the tie. Yes! And he's fouled!
On the defensive end, both players' reputations have been inflated by their steal numbers. But Iverson made more defensive plays while fouling less, and got more out of his size on the defensive end than Westbrook has. Westbrook wins the defensive ability argument every day, but Iverson gets the slight edge in actual defensive results.
The Lakers. Alvin Williams blocked by Iverson. He got a piece of it. He races back. That's a great block.
Iverson's insane workload gives him a check for longevity, but that's probably an unfair fight given we don't know how much longer Westbrook can keep playing. If we look at who was the better player at their absolute peaks, the debate gets a lot juicier.
06 mark of the quarter. Westbrook, that's the buzzer, got it. That shot, he had to adjust the release. Iverson for three. Allen Iverson is...
Iverson famously carried an underwhelming Sixers team to the NBA Finals in his MVP season of 2000-2001, when he led the league in scoring and steals on a 56-win team whose second leading scorer was, and I swear I'm not making this up, Aaron McKee.
Who the f*** is that guy?
Statistically, however, Iverson's best season came in 2005-2006, when he averaged 33 points, 7.4 assists, 3.2 rebounds, and 1.9 steals on 54.3% true shooting.
And let's get our energy level, the conditioning. That's what it takes. This guy has not stopped playing. He's playing so hard. Oh, wow. Wow. All right, hold on. That got the people even up here. Okay.
Here's the thing, though. The Sixers only won 38 games that season and missed the playoffs in a terrible Eastern Conference. Westbrook's peak was one of the greatest individual performances the NBA has ever seen, as in the first year following Durant's departure for Golden State, Westbrook led the 2016-17 Thunder to 47 wins and a playoff spot in a stacked West, famously becoming the first player since Oscar Robertson 55 years prior to average a triple-double.
The Thunder's got a chance to take the lead here. Driving and kicking Eustace for three. Got it!
Westbrook actually ended up averaging a triple-double in 3 straight seasons, but that 2016-17 campaign still stands as his finest. Westbrook won his second scoring title by averaging 31.6 points on a career-high 55.6% true shooting, but he also averaged 10.7 rebounds and 10.4 assists while shouldering the highest usage rate in NBA history. To put Westbrook's 41.7% usage rate in perspective, Iverson only used 36.8% of Sixers possessions during that 2001 playoff run that immortalized him. Now, let's take a look inside their trophy cabinets.
And the winner of the 2001 NBA Most Valuable Player Award is
Allen Iverson.
Russell Westbrook.
Iverson won an MVP, 4 scoring titles, 2 All-Star Game MVP awards, and made 11 All-Star Games plus 7 All-NBA teams in 14 seasons, which began with a Rookie of the Year campaign back in 96-97. In 12 seasons as a pro, Westbrook has an MVP, 2 scoring titles, 2 All-Star Game MVP awards, 9 All-Star appearances, and 9 All-NBA selections. What makes Westbrook's individual accolades even more impressive is that while Iverson did play in the age of Kobe, Russ has found success in the NBA's golden age of guard talent, perennially making All-Star games and All-NBA teams at guard in the 2010s is a lot harder than doing so in the 90s and 2000s. Individual accolades aside, how did their actual teams perform?
For Ibaka, Harden open for three. It counts and the foul.
From a team perspective, neither has an NBA championship to their name, and both have made a single finals appearance, though Iverson was the undisputed number 1, and then some, for the 2001 Sixers, while Westbrook was Durant's number 2 in 2012. Having said that, just like his teams performed better with him on the court during the regular season, Westbrook provided more positive value than Iverson during the playoffs. Obviously, Westbrook had more help almost every step of the way, benefiting from the attention all-time offensive talents like Kevin Durant and James Harden command, whereas Iverson spent most of his career leading a one-man band. Still, as a star, you make do with the cards you were dealt, and while Westbrook may have been the second best player on his team every time he advanced in the playoffs, the fact of the matter is, Russ has made it out of the first round 6 times and has made 4 conference finals appearances. Iverson advanced in the playoffs just 3 times, and 2001 marked the only time he even made it past the second round. If Vince Carter's potential series winner drops at the end of that epic 2001 East Semis matchup, then we're talking about Iverson never even reaching the conference finals. I'd even argue that if in 2001, you replaced Iverson with peak Westbrook, Russ still might have willed that flawed Sixers team through a winnable East. I'm not as sure that replacing Westbrook with prime Iverson would have resulted in deeper playoff runs for OKC or Houston. And who knows what might have been had Westbrook not suffered a season-ending injury early in the 2013 playoffs, which the Thunder entered with a West best 60 wins.
Beverly went for the steal just as the timeout was called, and he actually got part of the knee of Russell Westbrook. He is really upset.
Now let's look at the big picture. Who's going to leave a bigger mark on the game of basketball?
Sorry, I'm gonna get his ass back. Straight up.
Look, Westbrook's never going to touch Iverson from a legacy perspective, but few players ever will. Both stars play the game with a ferocious competitiveness. Both are style icons in their own unique ways, and both march to the beat of their own drums. But Iverson was a bona fide cultural icon. He was the undersized star with the heart of a lion, who could win MVP while making you feel like the underdog was on top. Westbrook's defining highlight was pretty damn cool.
Back to Russ, deep shot, get it! What a perfect ending to a historic day!
But it will never top this when it comes to legendary moments.
Iverson, how about that? Steps over Teron Lowe.
And Iverson gave us one of the sports world's eternal sound bites.
I know it's important. I do. I honestly do. But we talking about practice, man. What are we talking about? Practice?
Finally, it's time to make a decision. If the question is which star will be remembered longer or more fondly, the answer is the answer. But this isn't just a popularity contest. Russ is the more well-rounded baller, and he's made 4 conference finals. Iverson is the more prolific pure scorer who dragged a team to the finals that really had no business being there. Russ is Mr. Triple-Double. Iverson was a one-man army, but his teammates were often lacking. What would he have done alongside KD and Harden? So if you're asking me who the better NBA player was when taking everything into account, then while it might be agonizing to admit, give me Westbrook. Unlike Iverson, Russ still has time to seek that elusive championship ring. So what do you think? Would you take Westbrook's results over the nostalgia of Iverson? Or are you itching to let us know why we're embarrassingly wrong on this one? Thanks for watching. If you liked this video and want to see more content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button.